Linda Hamilton is back. Arnold Schwarzenegger is back again. In Terminator Dark Fate, once again, a Terminator is sent back in time to kill someone whose very existence threatens the future domination of the Terminators over the human race.
That is the dark fate that they have sealed for themselves.
Evil is everywhere.
Forever.
There are heroes on both sides.
Yes.
We just saw, this is the Tall King Reviews. Hey, how's it going? This is the Tall King Reviews. I am Cody. This is Kevin.
That is me.
And we're just talking. Today we saw Terminator Dark Fate. Kevin and I, both very much Terminator fans. Can't help but be excited for a new Terminator movie, even though every time one comes out, it's accompanied by a big sense of dread.
Judge Dredd.
And this one is probably... it's not great. It's okay.
Right.
It still might be the best Terminator film after Terminator 2, but that's a low bar to have to overcome. So it's really not saying much.
Yeah.
There's good stuff in this movie though. I liked both of the new main characters for the most part. And I liked their dynamic. I liked that they're establishing. With this one, it felt more than the other ones. It felt like they're not necessarily setting up for a trilogy or future films.
Right.
It feels like they could do that if they wanted to, but it doesn't feel like they're out the gate just assuming that they're making more after this and leaving all these very unsatisfying threads that never will get, like Terminator Genesis, right? Where Arnold, that is very clearly setting up for a sequel and they never... they're never going to continue that story.
It doesn't matter anymore.
This movie doesn't do that. It is for the most part its own thing. It's very, very connected to the other Terminator 1 and 2. I think you can't watch this if you haven't seen those movies. I think you'd be pretty lost.
Yeah, I mean, they straight up start the movie with a segment from Terminator 2.
Right. It's literally the scene where Sarah's at the hospital and she's talking to the therapist. Gets a little voice cameo in this movie. I appreciated that. He's dead now, but the actor, unfortunately, he died.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, got a little cameo from him. That's how the movie starts. Yeah, I wish it was a opening credits.
Yeah, me too.
Something more similar to Terminator 2. I love the opening credits in Terminator 2 so much.
Yeah, the music's hype. The credit scroll is good.
The beginning of this movie is good though. I thought it was really good. I told you this already, but it reminded me of Genesis a little bit, where it starts out great and I'm really into it, and then the more it goes, the more I'm kind of like, I don't know if I like this or not, and it starts to get a little muddied. The action scenes, when they're good, and when they're
mediocre.
Boring, exactly. When they're mediocre. Yeah.
I would have to agree. I think their use of CG was. I don't know. It was fairly decent in parts, I thought, if not like good in certain parts.
Well, I think they used it too much,
right?
But the quality of the CG was not really an issue. There were a few parts where it's like the Terminator would jump over something and it would look a little like
look a little
cartoon.
Jank. Yeah,
but I didn't think it looked nearly as bad as it did in Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis is not. It does not have great CGI.
Yeah, so the action scenes could be good when they were good. The characters, I wanted to like them more than I did. Yeah. I did like them, and I liked some of the story threads that they were exploring with them, but overall they were just short of being good characters.
Yeah.
And the dynamics between each other weren't quite as good as I wanted them to be either.
Right, like, man, what's the Grace, right?
Grace,
I felt like sometimes...
Part Terminator, part human,
which is something they explored in Terminator Salvation.
Right, yeah,
but, I thought the relationship between Grace and Sarah was kind of odd at parts. Like, sometimes she would really just, like, go off on Sarah, and it's like, wait, what did she do?
Yeah, it's weird. They're trying to establish kind of they don't really like each other relationship, which is fine, but it feels really forced for some reason. And yeah, you're right. She'll just say a line out of nowhere that's really mean. And it's like, what do you, it's not, the thing is, I couldn't tell if it was played for humor or not in some parts, which would help it if it was obvious that it was played for humor, but it wasn't always.
Yeah,
So that was bizarre.
I guess the humor tone aspect of the movie, I felt like it was quite shaky. Arnie has a line in there where he talks about being extremely funny, but he delivers it at a
Yeah.
very monotone level, and it is funny.
It's perfect. It's perfect kind of Terminator humor.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because we had just seen Terminator 2, and there's a lot of humor in Terminator 2, and most of it works. This one, a lot of it doesn't work. I feel like there's also not as much humor, but when they do try to attempt it, it usually fell flat. There were no real laughs in the audience.
Yeah, because I would hear a section, and the way the lines were written, I could tell that it was supposed to be a joke, but
Right. Yeah. Like, exactly. It just wasn't executed
right.
well.
I wasn't laughing at it.
Right. It just came down to the execution of it from the actors and probably the director too, which is weird because Tim Miller, director of Deadpool, you would think he'd be able to execute comedy really well, but it just comes off really flat in this movie, which is really unfortunate because Terminator 2 is hilarious, honestly.
Yeah, there's some really funny moments in it.
They do a great job of balancing the humor with the more serious beats. And there are some serious beats in Dark Fate that I think do work really well, but it feels almost more like a character by character basis. The inner relationships between the characters never really comes together. Sarah and what's her name?
Danny.
Sarah and Danny never really. I like what they were trying to do, but it doesn't really come through. Sarah and the part Terminator girl, that never. You expect it to be one of those things where the Terminator's, by the end of it, she says,
you're terminated.
No. Just like with her and Sarah, you expect their relationship to have some sort of payoff. Yeah, and evolve at the end where they respect each other, even if maybe they don't like each other, but it just doesn't go anywhere, and it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, man. They planted seeds for greatness, and they came up with...
It comes up short.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. There's some good... The things that I'm going to walk away from this movie are the couple set pieces that I really liked. The finale I enjoyed for the most part, even if some of the action does get tedious and bogged down. There's certain pieces of it that I enjoyed. The highway chase is great.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Even in those scenes that I say I liked, though, I still didn't love the execution of them. I thought the action could have been directed better overall, and it makes me think that Tim Miller just wasn't the right person for this project.
Yeah. Well, I was reading. Was it he and Cameron had disagreements during the film?
Yeah.
And I mean, that might have been...
Cameron's busy doing Avatar. I wish he wasn't. I wish he would just come back to Terminator because it needs him.
Yeah.
It's a fine movie, but it's still not great. It's still not what Terminator deserves.
Right. I think this is the product of a lot of people trying to get their ideas into this movie, and then no one walks away from it super happy.
And a studio just trying to cash in on the Terminator name.
Right.
Yeah.
I will have to agree with your earlier statement, though. I think this is the best film after Terminator 2.
Yeah, I don't even know how strongly I stand by that, honestly. But it's probably better. Like if I rewatched it, maybe I would like it more. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt like that was my thought walking out of the movie.
Yeah. So all those problems we stated, those are all very valid and very true. One of its biggest problems is the same thing that we had issues with Genesis and Terminator 3, is that it's derivative. It still feels like it's chasing that Terminator 2 beast. At the end of the day, it's very much just another Terminator movie.
Right.
And it doesn't have a whole lot new to say.
Yeah, it just borrows the plot device from the end of 3.
Isn't that weird? It borrows a lot of things from it borrows some stuff from Genesis, some stuff from 3. Whether or not it was intentional, it still feels like, oh, you're kind of just you didn't like these movies, but you're kind of still taking things from them. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the big bad Terminator.
He was good. You
Um,
know, I liked the whole how he could separate, and he had the skeleton that could, you know, walk off and do its own thing, and then he could be the liquid metal. That was cool. You know, then
yeah,
there were two Terminators, so it's like a little bit different from what we've seen before.
right.
Still, though, what I said about chasing Terminator 2, it's still liquid metal, you know, it's still chasing that thing.
Yep.
They cannot get away from liquid metal.
Well, it's such a good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Yeah, I guess. I guess. Um, yeah, I don't know how much more I have to say without spoiling it. I think it's fine if you're a Terminator fan. You could probably go see it and enjoy it for the most part. I don't think it's going to ruin your day, but it's still not a great movie. And if you're not into Terminator, I would say don't see it because it's just
Yeah,
it's so deep up its own ass with Terminator lore.
it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Huh. Yeah. I wonder if we need to do. I don't know. Just probably just do one rating for the people, right? Not just like if you're not a Terminator fan,
No,
this
yeah,
is what.
we don't need to break up the ratings.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would give it like I think it is a very honest 6.5.
Yeah.
Maybe even a 6. Maybe
Yeah.
even a 6. Yeah.
Give it a 6.
It is not a 7. I was thinking 7 throughout quite a lot of the film, and then as it kept going on and as the dialogue and the exposition kept going and I was bored throughout
Yeah.
long sections of the film,
Right.
it started to wear on me and I don't think I can give it a 7. It's either a 6 or a 6.5. I'll go 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm gonna go in the same boat. I can't give it a 7, and same exact thought process because the build at the beginning was good. I
Solid,
felt
very
like
very solid foundation.
I'm gonna give it a 6.5.
6.5. Yeah.
So yeah, some of the action was pretty decent. I was tense in a few parts.
Yeah.
At the end I almost teared up.
Really?
Man,
Did you really?
I almost
Because I just completely disagree. I wasn't feeling any of the emotion. All right, those are our ratings. Now we're gonna get into spoilers a little bit. If you don't want to get spoiled, get out of here. So yeah, it was kind of. I'm pretty torn on how they started it with killing John at the very beginning. It's sort of that Alien 3 thing where they killed Newt and Hicks at the very beginning of Alien 3. And it's like, man, we just went through this whole little bit different because Aliens and Alien 3 were filmed closer together, but still we went through this whole movie with these characters and they survive at the end, and then Alien 3 starts and they're dead at the very beginning. It's kind of the same thing here. Now there's a huge time gap in the filming of these movies, so that maybe that'll make people feel differently about it, but it's still kind of the same thing where we went through all of Terminator 2. John survives at the end. It's very satisfying. Terminator 3, for all intents and purposes, this dark fate starts and he dies at the very beginning, and it's like, man,
well
it kind of
that's
makes it all feel a little pointless. It's
right.
not
Well,
because they stopped Judgment Day, but still.
yeah, it's just they've starting the movie like that. It just establishes, okay, this is a different timeline. Clearly, John.
It's not a different. It's a different timeline from the original one where Skynet takes over, but it's the same timeline from Terminator 2. This is the official sequel to Terminator 2. So when you watch
Right.
Terminator 2 now you know that John canonically dies not that
Yeah,
long later. I mean, it looks
man.
like
Yeah,
months. He looks pretty much the same exact age as he did in Terminator 2.
right.
Yeah. Kind of a bummer. I don't know. A little bit of a bummer.
Yeah. Oh, we got to
Uh,
rewrite history.
Yeah, gotta switch it
Gotta-
up. The thing is, they're switching it up, but they really are just. The problem is that it feels like it's still going towards the same thing, right? It's
It
still
is.
Judgment Day. It's still the Terminators. John may not be the leader of the Resistance, but this new chick is now, and it's like it's still everything is still exactly the same. It's just the pieces are moved around a little bit.
Right. So, man, I feel with this formula too. It's like, okay, even if they do kill Danny, right? There's gonna be someone else who rises up. You think there's not one human that's gonna be like, you know what? I don't want to kill other humans. I want to fight.
I thought that scene was very cheesy, where they show her in the future.
Yeah.
hasn't aged a day. She looks great.
Yeah, no, she looks great.
She grew some cornrows. That's about it. She stops those thugs from beating up the other character. I don't remember names at all, dude. Danny and who's the
Grace.
Grace, yes.
Yeah, like
Very on the nose.
yeah.
Love it. Also Legion, very on the nose. Love it. She stops those thugs from beating the crap out of Grace, and she gives this whole inspirational speech, and the guy's like, he's got that. I feel like we've seen this before. He's got that look on his face, like, oh man, yeah, I'm really into this.
Yeah.
Joins her. It felt very cheesy. It didn't feel empowering or badass. It felt cheesy to me.
Right, because here's the thing, right? All those people surrounding Grace were gonna kill her.
Right, yeah, they were gonna kill her. Right, exactly.
Like their morality is not like that high right now. Okay,
right, yeah.
So some chick coming in and like beating him up and then handing the gun back. I honestly thought they were gonna shoot her.
Well, that's what you would do.
Right, because that's what those characters would do in that time period. But all of a sudden, you see, she just has the gift of gab, and she has all these people outside, and it's like, oh dang.
Some of the writing like that just felt off. It felt weak. I did like. Okay, so even though I'm conflicted about the John getting killed at the beginning, I still liked the scene because it was so cool to see a young Sarah again, at the Terminator 2 era Sarah.
Right.
For 2 seconds, it was cool to see Edward Furlong, who I thought was gonna. They had said Edward Furlong was gonna be in the movie. He wasn't. They just got a body double and put his young face on it. So, I mean,
one way.
That's one way to do it. We got to see a Terminator 2 era Arnie 2, and it all looked really good, I thought. Edward looked a little off, I think, compared to the other two, but Sarah especially, I thought looked like fantastic. I was really impressed by that. And I loved the transition they do of the Terminators walking on the beach to the modern day.
Oh yeah, no, that shot with the beach.
I was super
really good.
I was super into it because that's Terminator, right? That's Terminator.
Why not start on that?
Why not just make the whole movie about CGI Sarah Connor?
Yeah, they can afford it, right? They have the budget.
What do you think of Sarah in the movie?
I really liked her intro.
Yeah.
To the movie, I felt they had schemed for a while about how to do that, but then
it also to some degree it still kind of feels just like they're trying a little bit too hard to make her badass at certain parts. Yeah,
and I was gonna go there next.
Yeah, I wish the humanity came through a little bit more, and they do. I appreciate it because they did do some of that.
They did.
She's like mourning John and all this stuff, and she sees this new character as John by the end, which is like, okay, that's kind of cool. She's got a grudge against Arnie since he actually killed him, so it's like, okay, you're doing some emotional stuff with her. I appreciate that she's not just a badass for the sake of it. Yeah, it still felt like a little try hard in a lot of it.
Yeah, and I mean, in terms of giving her like that humanity, I like the scene where she was like she sees Carl, right?
Yeah,
and like she has to go and collect herself out in the woods. She's
I like that too.
And like I felt that.
That was a standout. That was a standout emotional moment of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
So okay, what did you think of Carl?
Carl?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. The T-800. His name is Carl.
Yeah, I felt. I liked how long it took for them to get to him.
I didn't mind that at all. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because like I knew it was coming, but I don't know, when it came time to it, I felt some kind of payoff for it.
Sure, I didn't. Yeah, and we had the other girl there as a kind of surrogate Terminator. I didn't mind that they saved him for the final act. I thought that was totally appropriate. Yeah. I didn't need him throughout the whole thing.
Right. I thought it was interesting too because, his future no longer exists.
Yeah.
But he still has all of that information in him. He's sent back to a time where that doesn't exist, but he still has those, I guess, capabilities.
Mm-hmm.
And he grows a conscience, I suppose.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought that I don't know how I felt about that. I thought it was kind of weird that they gave him a family and he grew a conscience and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just kind of it would almost make more sense if he was reprogrammed, a reprogrammed Terminator, and he came to that realization, because you kind of almost saw that with Arnie in Terminator 2 by the end of it. I know now why you cry, you know. But he was just a normal Terminator sent back to kill John, and then at the end of it, or after he does that, he doesn't have a mission anymore. His mission's completed. So what I would expect from that is either he kills himself or he just stands in a warehouse for the next 20, 30 years until Skynet goes online. You know, like I don't know, like that seemed like a weird thing for a computer to do, to seek out a purpose. I get what they're doing. It's just, it felt a little weird to me and not like what would actually happen.
Right, because he tries converting the other Terminator, right? The baddie. He's talking about right in the final scene, he's telling him, "Oh, you don't need to kill her." And the Terminator is like, "Nope, I gotta kill her." So there's that little conflict that goes nowhere, but he tried. He tried something, apparently.
I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I don't think I liked that. I think it's just nothing in
That universe.
it doesn't make any sense that a Terminator would grow like that. I don't think. Not if they're a real Terminator sent back by Skynet to kill someone. That doesn't make sense to me. I think it's really weird, actually.
Right. Yeah.
And that's like a nerdy thing. Like, that's a nerdy critique. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that, who cares really? But
yeah,
that's like a thing that irks me.
No. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because like, what you think? Schmalexa is gonna be a.
She's on. Schmalexa.
Never mind. Do you think?
Well, because like if you.
Like
then
the
that
Google
means
Assistant is gonna grow a conscience and then be like, "Oh, you know what? I gotta help humanity now."
I just think of like the Terminator from the first movie, right? That means that Terminator could have gone on to grow a conscience and all this, like, and raise a family and all this stuff. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Because like the
T-1000, you know.
Yeah, I feel like
it just seems dumb to me.
I feel like I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just.
It's fine if you liked it.
No.
You justify it all you want if you liked it.
No. I'm not trying to justify. I'm just trying to see where they're coming from. Like,
sure.
So since the model 101, right? T1000.
Yeah, Model 1.
Oh. No, Model 101.
T800 Model 101.
T800 Model 101.
Yes.
There it is. Since his future technically gets erased.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that was the reason as to why, like, oh, now he doesn't have a purpose because that AI is gone. So now, but he has all that programming within him.
Sure. I mean, that's the idea behind it, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't fully buy it.
It just seemed dumb to me. And I get it. They're also tying it into Sarah, what she's going through.
Right.
And they're having the emotional payoff with him at the end when he dies.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I
liked the truck chase. I thought that was good. I just thought it was directed a little poorly in some parts. I liked the end with the plane crashing when they're going in a free fall and everyone's kind of free floating in kind of zero gravity. I thought that was really cool. Actually, I liked that a lot.
I agree.
And there's some parts later too that are cool. You know, when they're underwater in the Humvee, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It does just feel like it keeps going and going and going, and they keep blowing him apart, and he keeps coming back. And I know that's a Terminator thing, but it just feels like we've done this so many times at this point that it's getting a little bit old.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I feel they probably could have cut a scene or two with him because, I mean, you know what he's gonna do.
Sure,
he's
like
just gonna come back.
Yeah, right.
So, but like, because he would be in there briefly for like a moment in the movie. Like, there'd be like a scene where he's tracking him down, and then
There was a lot in the middle, right? He's hacking into the drones and he's surveying them, sending guys after them. He's in the immigration
Yeah,
office. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it does just feel like it's going and going and going. This felt like a long movie too.
yeah,
Yeah, I felt its length, which is unfortunate.
yeah. They could have cut a bit,
Yeah,
and I think it would have felt a little better. But alas, they did not. I wonder if we're gonna get a director's cut,
the longer one. Gosh,
PG-13 edit.
I think I like the first 30 minutes of Terminator Genesis more than I like this movie.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I don't like Genesis as a whole more, but just those first 30 minutes I think are really good.
Yeah, I've been waiting for you. Right?
Come on.
Isn't that what he says
Yeah.
when he's like
Yeah.
pulls off his hood?
Starts shooting him. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. What else?
Good acting in this movie, though, I'll say, because that was
Yeah.
something in Genesis, right? That we really harped on was the acting. This one didn't really have that issue. I liked the girl who's playing the
Grace.
Grace. I thought she was really good, and I liked the other girl too,
Danny.
Danny. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know who are these characters. I thought their acting was really good, and any part where it was off a little bit, I don't think it was because of them. I think it was either the material or the directing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because they came off very good for most of the movie.
Right. Yeah. I quite like Danny. Like because the way they introduce her, right? She's just like this normal girl, just living her life, you know.
Very Sarah Connor-esque.
And her development, you know, by the end, there's a clear difference as to who she is.
Yeah.
But man, I didn't
just regurgitating that old ground though, Sarah. You know what I mean? Like it's
I know.
Yeah.
But like I feel the moment like where she turned after that like that flash forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like then she kind of snapped, but you know, into that
mode.
person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But like as we were saying earlier, that scene didn't really feel it
possibly
wasn't
the worst
well.
scene in the movie.
Yeah, gosh, that just
thought it
did
was
not
really
feel
bad.
right.
Did you? I saw the twist coming too.
Oh, yeah.
It felt very obvious that she was going to be the leader and not her son or whatever.
Right.
I mean, when they're on the train, I think, and Sarah's like, "Oh,
Oh, they're
let
after
me
your
guess,
womb.
it's the same thing. They're after your son, your future son. He's going to be the leader." And the robot girl, the Terminator girl, doesn't say anything. It's like, oh, okay, so that's obviously not it.
Yeah. I mean, even if that cue weren't there, I'm like, yeah, no, Danny's the leader of the resistance.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed pretty obvious. And
Yeah,
then she's like, yeah,
and-
what does she say? It's not some son of yours that's going to be the leader. It's you. Something like that. Like to just like really drive home that, you know, it's not going to some like man. They say it like it's all very gendered the way they're talking, and it's like you can do it too, and it's like, man, dude, yeah, she can. I don't know why you're drawing so much like why it's like it almost reminds me of Rogue One when they reveal, or not Rogue One, Solo, when they reveal that one character is a girl, that bounty hunter character, and the reveal is that she's a girl.
Whoa.
And it's like, okay. I really feel like we're past this sort of thing by this point. Sarah Connor's freaking badass, you know?
Right.
It's fine that her son is the leader, but she's the one that trained him. It's because of her that he's as good as he was in that future, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
not anymore.
It doesn't, yeah, right. Not anymore. It just doesn't feel like it really matters that as much as they're building it up to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know that this plot twist is really that mind blowing.
It's not.
Not just because we saw it coming, even if we didn't, it's like, okay, sure. Yeah, she's okay. She's the leader, sure.
But she's still an important person in the future,
Right.
Like,
Why not?
yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so.
We really liked the guy that was playing the Terminator, the Toyota RX-8. I think he did a really good job.
Yeah, I liked when he would embody other characters too, because the way he was acting, it would be kind of human, but you could still tell something was just not quite right.
Yeah, I think he was just kind of trying to do his best Robert Patrick impersonation.
Yeah. Well, not. I
He
mean,
did a
like
good job, but
when he
still,
like
it's
took over the dad or the border patrol person.
Oh, right, yeah, right, you're right, yeah, I agree. Yeah, those actors did a good job of acting as him. I agree. Yeah, whatever.
6.5. Go see it if you like Terminator.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a 6 actually.
Oh, you're giving it a 6.
I give it a 6.
All right. I'm sticking with my 6.5.
Oh, I'm dropping it a half a point. It's a 6.
I stand firm in my 6.5.
I just want to it's not bad is the problem. It's just
Right.
not. It
doesn't
There
connect.
are parts where it feels like such a good Terminator movie, and there's other parts where it's like, man, this is such a mediocre Terminator movie.
Yeah.
There are parts where it's like it really feels like Terminator, right?
Right.
We're in the Terminator universe, and then there's other parts where it's like, this feels like Terminator Genesis, kind of a little bit, where it's like we're trying to be the new Terminator. I don't know, whatever. This has been the Talking Reviews. Go ahead and smash that
like.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher. We're on all 4 of those.
All 4 I counted.
If you want to watch the video, though, you gotta watch YouTube. Yeah, very important.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening to the Talking with your ears and your eyes.
Okay, so what did you think about Sarah Connor in this movie?
I was I don't know. I felt okay about it in parts.
Yeah.
Oh. Ask me again.
How'd you feel about Sarah Connor in this film?
I felt she was okay in parts.
Acting.
I know you like that.